Hello, everyone, and welcome to our second night of Teeth Whitener's D&D homebrew session. Where we last left off, Stella was licking her taint and making Mommy angry. Stella, friggin' no! Don't! Woman! I will censor you. Anyway, on our last episode, the four unlikely, acquaintances were at a great, glorious feast celebrating the god Lucius. And then everyone started getting poisoned and were a bit scared. Teeth Whitener will tell you it better. Are you done licking yourself, woman? Are you done? No, I will not stop saying taint. Anyway, you guys know the drill. We will be joining our party, chatting with them. I will be texting and chat with y'all. We'll do a little shout out though. Shout out to Vineapple who says, "Why did I hit refresh?" I don't know, Vineapple. The world works in mysterious ways. Shout out to Arvidos who says I'm late. Thanks, Arvidos. Hello, Owl, Swampy, Cube, Arun, Oddling, Little Hummy, who is not Megamind, you little tit. Hello, Mina. All right, you guys, are you ready? Here we go.
Morning. Is
Hello.
Hello.
Are we
on time streamer?
Listen. I may or may not have been watching Community, but it's fine. It's okay.
Is it?
It was worth it.
Is it?
That's
okay?
all right. I was just talking about how we got sponsorships and stuff because we're
Yeah,
professional
yeah.
hard work at Roll20 and just kidding. We're really not professional at all at Roll20, but they're at Roll the Roll, but they like us, so whatever.
Yeah.
It's confusing to us.
So-
But it's to you.
So Teeth Whitener, can you go ahead and give us a better recap of our stories so far? All I told people is, last episode a bunch of people got poisoned and were freaking out.
Okay, so the recap up to this point is that there was a big festival that's basically a week of festivities leading up to the grand opening, so to speak, of a temple, the largest temple to a particular deity named Lucius in the entire world. And some people were hanging around and getting, having a good time, and then all of a sudden, people started falling down. Some people started dying, and it appears that they have been poisoned. All of you, for whatever reason, even though some of you partook of the wine that has been poisoned, all of you are okay. So, you decided that it would be a good idea to go try and find out what's going on. Now, for the viewers, it's important to know that with the exception of Psyche and Swampy's characters, none of these people knew each other heading into this. This was not... I really wanted to get away from the whole idea of you all met in a tavern and you decided to go on an adventure for no reason. So I need to have a reason for them to get together, and that's kind of what that was. So it's more than that, but it's also that. So none of these people knew each other beforehand. Okay. So, does anyone have any questions about what all's happening? The last thing that we did was you're pursuing the not really the murderer. You don't know if he's the murderer. The potential culprit, and you came to a bar or tavern or something. They told you more or less where they thought he was headed. Okay. Does anyone have any questions though before we get going?
I don't
Nope.
think so. I think we finally found out where we want to go.
Right. So he was headed toward the Parliament building, which is in the center of the city. And at least those of you who are familiar with the city would know that. and 2 of you have lived here for some time. So what do you guys want to do?
I mean, I say we just march up to that Parliament Parliament building.
The Potaler.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are pretty much on the border between the 2 districts. I remember you guys talking to a bunch of people who were near the edges of the city, and you are headed inward. And as you move closer to the city, as you move closer to the heart of the city, you'll notice that the buildings look a lot newer and more recently crafted. Go ahead and roll a history check for me, Psyche and Bevan.
Okay.
Let me get my dice out. Ooh.
15.
Ho, ho, ho. 17.
Well, you beat me.
You both recall, because you've been here a while, that the city looks this way because this part of the city is in fact a lot newer. Most of the buildings in this part of the city have been crafted recently because the shifting government is a very recent change. The oldest buildings are actually to the east, the southeast of this part of the city, where the old downtown district is. The city was mostly controlled by Dragonborn, before it was repopulated by the colonists.
Now, is this like
Oh.
a gentrification kind of deal, or?
Kind of, not really. It's like this is really just new and fancy because there's this is where the new government is. There was always a palace of something, and that's kind of old, but the rest of the buildings, especially the Parliament building, which you can see in the distance, is fairly new.
Okay.
So people are gossiping, you can see that. They're turning toward each other, they're conspiratorial. They don't really take much notice of you because they're too wrapped up in their own little world. They've heard about all the stuff that happened because it was only like a couple of hours ago at this point, and they are really concerned. Some of them have family members who went to that, and they haven't heard news back, so they're worried of what they might hear from people who came from the party.
If people are so on edge, I think we should be careful as we enter. We don't want people to panic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's a lot better than what I was going to suggest.
Suppose a subtle touch would be useful at times.
Right. So, do you just head up? You said you were headed up to the Parliament building. Is that correct?
We are heading just at a brisk pace. We are not running. We don't want people to be alarmed.
Keep my eye out.
You try.
Shifty business.
All in all, it takes you about 10 minutes to reach it. The city's pretty big and it's pretty windy, so it can get pretty easy to get lost. But you have people who know the area, so you don't get lost, fortunately. But it does take a bit. So you walk up to the Parliament building, and it is very clear that this is one of the crown jewels of the new kingdom, quote unquote. It's really hard. People aren't really sure what to call this new government that they've set up. Surrounded by thick stone walls that are really more just for show because they're not particularly tall. It's just kind of a show of regality. But that's about the most, pretentious thing in the building. It's a very, it's very overall simple in its construction. It's large, but it looks more like just a big, I don't know what you call it. It looks more like a big schoolhouse more than anything. It's a large building that's clearly meant to hold a lot of people. It's made of brick and made of white brick and such. It's very simple. It's not. It performs its function. It is, however, slightly elevated. It's at the top of a small hill. So it's a very large building, though, with many different wings to it. So do you walk up to the entrance?
Yeah. I don't think we
Yes.
have any other choice.
Okay. So as you walk up, you notice that there are 2 guards standing outside. And these 2 guards are, one of them's tall, one of them is of moderate build, but he's got a really stern expression on his face and a scar across his forehead. The other guy's tall and lanky and awkward. And the shorter one looks towards you and says, "Halt! What business do you have in the Royal Parliament building?"
Can we... Would they recognize either Korg or I? Korg. Would
They
they...
might recognize you, but that doesn't mean that they would know who you are. It's a very large city. Like, it's well over 100,000.
Ah, frick.
Probably closer to 1 million.
Wow.
Hello, good sirs. Lucius's blessings on you both. I have some work I need to do in the Parliament building for the temple.
Only official business allowed here, ma'am.
Well, I would think a god's business is official, sir. And I will roll
We
to...
don't answer to gods here. We answer to authority.
Oh,
The authorities here are neither divine nor royal. The authorities
We're looking
here,
for a terrorist.
The authorities here are the Queen's voice, who is not present, as I'm sure you can tell.
you can't just...
Roll a history check, both of you. The 2 of you who live here. So
20.
15.
okay, you know the Queen's voice is Xavier Navarius, the Drow guy who was giving a speech during the toast. He's basically the equivalent of a prime minister.
Who is this Queen's voice?
The Queen's voice, as I'm sure that most of you know,
I'm new here. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I have no idea.
tourists.
Ah,
Yeah, pretty much.
Queen's voice is the person who basically runs the government. He basically has established all of the committees that run the parliament. He oversees basically all of the ways that this government runs. He's also very charismatic, and I think that you would probably have remembered him if you had seen him. So it's pretty obvious you don't have business here.
well, I think we might have something he'd be interested in hearing, that's all. Just a suspicion, but maybe one that'd be angled in the right direction. Have you gotten news recently here?
Just the same news that everyone here has, that there was some sort of poisoning at the temple, as the dedication of the Temple of Lucius.
Yeah, we think we know the guy who did it.
We saw a mysterious figure walking away quite quickly, just before the poisoning happened.
Suspiciously.
We followed them.
There are probably many people who are leaving that area. I wouldn't want to be seen there. I have a scar across my forehead. You'd think that I'd be the first person people would suspect, because people
Well,
just
he
conclude-
let
True, but you
Shayna
wouldn't
leave
leave
beforehand.
before the event happened, would you?
Before, the big whole ceremony that everyone went there for.
You know, a big toast doesn't make sense why anyone would leave then, unless they might have known something.
Daddy.
But yes,
Suppose
the
you
figure
have a
left-
point. I'll go talk to my superior and see what they think.
We're just doing our citizenship's job.
Okay. So he walks off. He'll probably will be back in around 10 minutes. Is there anything you guys want to do in the meantime?
Aviana would probably just like stand there, looking
Okay.
real bored.
Right? Like normally I'd be a blisters guy, but I don't want to, blow it for all of us.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
I'm gonna feed my pet mouse.
Fear will just zone out.
Okay.
Colette is huffing and puffing, and she has her arms crossed, and she's like tapping her foot. She's very much in a talk to your manager mood.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that's felt exactly like what you just did. You just walked in and was like, I would like to speak to the manager.
Yes, we have important temple business, and they're not listening to us.
Listen,
Okay.
not everyone has to be a big old giant fan of your
Official Jedi
God
business.
Go back to your drink.
boy.
Today is the day we celebrate him, so of all days, I think I can have this one. But you would know about telling people what they can or can't do, wouldn't you, Aviana?
What are you talking about?
Oh, you must have already forgotten how bossy you were when we were children.
Me? I was the heck no. You were the bossy one.
Excuse me. Oh, Aviana, she's so special. Oh, let's do what she wants to do today.
Some people
like our-
just asked.
Your two mixes of accents are really.
Um,
Aviana, heck no.
Oh, this is quite. Oh, don't stop on my accord. You two continue. I'm just watching. Don't
No,
mind.
we're fine.
We're fine.
That's sure a word for it.
Imagine we just hop and like turn away from each other.
Yes. It's like a split, like an identical image, just the same time.
At the
Tieflings
same
have such
time,
fun
a
interactions.
large, muscle-bound man who has a smug grin on his face walks up to you and he crosses his arms, leans back. I don't want to break up this lover's quarrel, but it seems
what?
that you have some business with me and my associates here. Is that correct?
And I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna
So,
stand up to my full height, put my pet mouse pork small arm back in his the pocket he hangs out where you're like, yes, we do have business with you. And give him a, stare him right in the eye. My arm's also crossed. And
Explain
remind
yourself.
the audience that should say 17, not 11 under my strength.
Listen.
Tiniest arms.
Look, yeah, I was gonna say, look, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to intimidate somebody with these tiny little noodle arms I got. No, it's a 17, folks.
That's some spaghetti. That ain't no angel hair.
these
Yeah,
weak
no.
arms are heavy.
I am just disappointed in us all.
Look, I'm not flexing any angel hair. It's rigatoni for sure.
Oh, dang, he packing that rigatoni heat.
You sure
Oh.
got my pen al dente.
Please don't say that ever again.
So that was a fun game.
Slightly chewy.
Choli.
Oh, okay.
So,
White sauce.
what business do you have here, Mr.
Strong arm. Cool, strong arm.
Mr. Strongarm? Is that a title or is it?
It's a name. Some names
Okay.
are titles. You don't go,
Mr.
oh, is that a Smith? Is that your job or your name? Sometimes it's both.
Fair enough. Mr. Strongarm, what business do you have here at the Royal Capitol building?
What business except party business? Except for this party turned south. There's terrorism, a poisoning. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's only been about 2 hours ago.
Well, I have heard of it. It is an event of great import to this city, and as we are the guards, the watchmen who take care of it, if you have something important that you like to say to us, you can say it in private. Only if you follow our lead.
Well, I'm gonna slap him on the shoulder and be like, doing a really good job guarding this city. Not a lot of random deaths recently. But all
Do
right,
you
where are we
want
gonna?
our cooperation or not?
I mean,
Listen, we're just here to give you
Yeah.
some info. If you want it, you can have it. If not, I don't know.
Is this part of the culture here? Is this how communication is done here?
I don't know. Sis, you picked a real odd place to live.
You are not one to judge. And no, this is not normal. It's just a pissing contest.
that I'm winning.
I don't see.
I
any
don't say
of
that.
you
That would be
typically.
stupid. Come on, dude. All right, well, where's in private then, instead of out here? It's not that we wanted to have this conversation on the front steps. It's just we were made to wait on them.
Fair
That's
enough. Follow me. So he leads you inside into the large, relatively uninteresting Parliament building. So he leads you inside, and on the inside you can see that there's quite a bit more going on in here. There are murals of great battles that have happened in the past and in the recent past as well. Battles that occurred during the war that led to the liberation of this country from the Empire's grasp. And he leads you through several winding staircases down into a bunker. A bunker where a man is having a drow man is having a heated conversation with another guard who you might have recognized from the party. He doesn't seem he's probably getting into it because he let this happen. He interprets it to be that way.
Okay, so this isn't long nose though. This is just a guard, right?
It's just a guy.
Okay.
And this better be the last that I ever hear of a murder in this city. Do I make myself clear? I don't want anything like this to ever happen again. We've seen increasing levels of violence in this city, and this guard supposed to be taking care of the town is failing tremendously. Do your job or get out. He turns around to see you guys, all your group, and he says, "Who are they?"
Eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
Potential informants. Hopefully, information that could be useful to you, and we'll be on our way quickly to be out of your hair.
Well, they said that they were witnesses to a potential person of interest in this ongoing case to discover the man or woman responsible for these acts. Fine. I'll do anything I can to make sure that this person is caught quickly and hastily. We have festivities to run, after all.
Yeah, of course.
I think Korg, did you get the best look at him? I believe.
Yeah, it was a week ago when I was drinking, but if I recall, yeah, he was also a drow as well, correct? With a really big nose, or he was just an elf with a big
Dude.
Just a dude?
He was a dude. He was wearing some kind of shroud.
Okay. I remember.
You recognize the nose because it kind of poked out. He's kind of hawkish in appearance. So
He was rude, short,
Yeah.
and he initially fled to. Well, no, he first went to the church temple first
yes,
on the way out, and then he fled to the tavern.
went to the
Then to
church
Parliament,
of Hyphus. So what you're giving me is kind of vagaries. what makes you think this man is responsible for the crime that you are accusing him of?
Well, he was really the only person who tried to skedaddle out of there before the toast.
The only person that you saw could have been
That
anybody.
seemed very suspicious and in a rush to get as far away from this place as possible.
Seem to make a point of avoiding
People.
people and being followed, and
Yeah.
it is like you said, it is not the most bona fide of leads, but it is someone that was suspicious. And I do not recall, did he lead to here as well, or did we lose him on our way to here?
We were never following him.
We followed kind of the direction.
Yeah, I was tailing him, and then I lost him after everybody started dying.
Yeah.
Well, what in the gods' names brings you to this establishment? Is it just coincidence that you came by here, or are you just trying to give us some information?
We're being good members of the community. Like,
We were following
think-
this trail.
Yes,
Okay,
and it led us roughly in this direction.
right. Well, if that's all you have, we'll make sure to keep our eyes open for him. But other than that, you're free to go. We'll keep our eyes open.
Do I get the sense he's telling the truth? That they really...
Yes,
yeah,
he
you
has-
could roll for insight, maybe.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Do you, now, I hope I don't sound ignorant, but I haven't done this before. If he's rolling for insight, is she rolling against anything I do or anything?
No.
Well,
It's usually a DC that you set in your brain of how difficult is this person to read,
Okay.
and to potentially glean any information from.
if they are lying, though, would he roll a deception check to
Yeah.
counter my...
It depends on the DM. Sometimes, if you feel like it's warranting a deception check, maybe. Other times, it just makes the DC harder.
Okay. Go ahead and roll.
I got a 16.
You believe he's being sincere.
Okay. Cool.
So, if there's anything else, just let us know or let some other authorities know. But next time, maybe start a bit smaller.
Alright.
All right, I'll tell the neighborhood watch next time.
Not like
So
the
they
mass
begin
terrorist or
to-
anything.
Colette is just gonna haughtily say, I guess we'll leave them to all the progress they're currently making.
Oh.
Eviana heads out. She's gonna start asking
If
around.
we see any individuals with large noses, we'll be sure to make sure you're the first people that we alert.
Good! The Temple of Lucius appreciates it, especially as you're supposed to protect us, as his festival is today.
Yeah, we're gonna leave you to yell at your subordinates about how they fucked this up, and we'll talk to you later.
Also, make sure to stop by when we inevitably, figure this out for you. Yeah. So, anyways, she just leaves.
Colette
Right.
leaves as well.
Fira just
find-
kind of like. Oh wait, you go first.
No, you continue. You go.
I was just gonna say, Fira just kind of lingers for a second after everybody else leaves and is like shrugs.
When
Tieflings are
Korg is
very
on his way out,
strange.
he goes out of his way to do the grumpy shoulder bump to as many people as he can. Like the first time it's intimidating. The second and third time it's like, come on, you just look like a dummy.
So roll a. Well, what's your passive? What's the highest passive perception in the party?
I got 13.
Crap,
Okay.
mine is 14, I believe.
Okay. I'm just gonna say you notice that there is a man walking through the hallways who looks vaguely familiar to you. He has a face that looks similar to something. Looks kind of hawkish.
Who do I see that?
Both of you two do. He's not exactly making an effort to be hidden.
Sort of like, is there like a wall near this dude at all? Or is he
You're
walking
walking
in,
down
like,
the
a hallway?
hallway. You're being escorted by guards. You're nearing a crossing. You see him out of the corner of the left side of out of your field of vision. He's obviously not trying to hide.
Can I ask the guard who that individual is?
Why, yes, that's just one of the assistants of one of the many members of parliament we have here. This particular member of parliament, though, is a ranking individual who's been a part since the very beginning.
Interesting. I point the guy out to the rest of our party. Whoever didn't see him.
What is it, Eviana?
Dude, look at that dude. She's like
What? Oh,
mouthing. That's the guy. Or at least it
Oh.
looks like the guy.
you think that's him?
I don't know. Maybe. I think so.
Well, we'll have to be cautious. We don't know what he's capable of.
Do we talk to him?
Cautiously.
So you're walking up to this guy to talk to him.
Yeah, Colette, go on.
Oh, I got it.
The guards are not exactly happy about this, but you can sense that they might let you go on if you make it like very brief.
Yeah.
Hello. I'm sorry. I'm not from around here.
Hello?
Hi. May I have a moment of your time?
He's very stern, and he seems like he's kind of distant.
Is there anything about like his person? Does he smell strange, or does he like looking over him? Do I notice anything of interest on him, like how he's dressed or anything like that?
His dress is fairly normal. He looks relatively prim and proper. Looks like the assistant of an important person. So he looks fairly official. Roll a perception check for me.
Okay. Perception. 19 plus 18.
You detect a very slight aroma of gin, cucumbers, and melon. It's very faint.
Okay, sorry, out of character question. Can you remind me, I forgot the name of, because you gave us the prime minister, basically, and then there was the kind of the muscle guy, too, that would look like a captain of the guard or something along those lines?
His name is Barnabas Bear-Alarm Oswick.
I'm sorry. I came to the event today, and I was looking for Barnabas, but he wasn't there. And there was all that horrid stuff going on, and I know that you all are familiar. At least back in my kingdom, they'd be familiar with him, and he's just such a sweet gentleman. I owe him an audience, if you will. But I don't know if you knew where he might have been, because he wasn't there at the event today.
Well, I suspect that he probably was at the event today. In fact, I saw him there. It's like I
Oh.
saw pretty much everybody. Everybody was there.
So you were at the event today?
Everybody of importance was at the event today.
Oh.
Man, that must have been pretty scary. You know, I just like pop up behind. It's pretty awful what happened.
Tragic. Truly
Yeah.
tragic.
Does he seem broken up about it? Does he seem scared? Did you
No.
Oh.
I feel
I
like
guess-
Hyphus let this happen.
What was that?
I said I feel like Hyphus let this happen. Maybe as a warning.
I don't see why she would have let this happen. Her this has nothing to do with her business.
Man.
Hmm.
Do you have
I'm
anything
sorry.
better to do than waste my time? I have a mistress to serve.
Oh, no, of course.
Oh.
I also have a mistress to serve. I am apologetic. I am just a foreigner, being a bit of a tourist. I do wish you a safe day and hope that the city recovers from such a terrible encounter.
He gives you a very, it seems almost rehearsed grin, very insincere, but a politician's grin, dismissive and condescending. Oh, I assure you, the people in charge will make sure that those responsible are held to the fullest extent of the law. Good
I
day.
sure hope he is.
He walks off.
Can I like go back to guards and be like, keep an eye on that one. Something feels odd about him. Just
He's always like that.
He
thinks he's
resembles.
very self-important.
Don't all politicians. He resembles the gentleman we were following. I don't have any other
Yeah.
evidence other than that, but a resemblance. So that's why I can't say just go arrest him or something outrageous, but worth keeping an eye on.
yeah.
Okay. Well, if that's all the business you have here, we'll escort you out. We appreciate the information. And go ahead and roll an insight check.
Or are we gonna find out he doesn't appreciate the information? Well, I rolled a 2. I'm not even gonna add my wisdom to that.
You don't know if he's being sincere or not.
11.
Do we all roll?
He seems like he honestly appreciates the help because he takes some responsibility, although he was not there at the event. He feels like it's the duty of the guards to figure out what's going on.
Oh.
They're not bad people. They're broken up about this.
Hmm.
So I assume you just follow the escort out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I give the guard kind of like a slight. No, that's not quite in her character. Never mind.
Okay. Anyone else do anything before you leave?
Nah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything mean and offensive I need to say to get us
Okay.
in trouble.
So you're outside of the Parliament gates. What do you plan on doing now?
Great question.
Drinks
Ah.
at the inn we originally followed him to.
I think relaxation is in order. I don't think there's anything immediate that could be in our grasp.
I'll have to watch this guy.
It's been a stressful day.
It has.
Okay.
I think Colette would want to go check in on the temple and see if everyone's okay.
Okay. So you're going off by yourself,
I would follow.
or does everybody else want to follow?
You can come with if you'd like some help. You're,
Yeah, she'll need it.
You're tighter than tight, but you're not a bad person.
I
Uptight
th-
and uptight.
thank you, I suppose. Normally I'd say no, but a bodyguard during these times would be much appreciated. And if my sister wishes to come along, then I guess she can.
Listen, just found you after 12 years, so you need all the help you can get, dear sister.
I suppose
Okay.
that's how you would remember me. Anyway, come along. And she just huffs off.
You know,
Okay.
Kurg, I've seen daddy issues, I've seen mommy issues, but I've never seen sister issues.
You haven't met the right sisters.
Apparently, I haven't. But this will be quite interesting. Well, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so no objections. You head off to the temple, which is not where the event was being held. And you're basically the heart of the royal district. The fastest route to get to the temple involves cutting through the arts district, and then heading up to the military encampment.
All right. I will, even though this really right now doesn't matter, I do have a class feature called City Secrets that, since I know the secret patterns and flow to cities, so I can find passages through the urban sprawl that others would miss. So if we're not in combat, me and my companions can travel between any two locations in the city twice as fast as we normally would be able to. But I mean, right now, I'm not sure if that would matter. Getting somewhere early.
But yeah, so all this was taking place around, I think, noon. It took you a couple of hours to get to the palace or to the whatever, because you were tracking him. You weren't trying to cut across the city or anything.
Yeah.
But now you know where you're going, so it probably takes you another 2 hours to get back, plus the 30 minutes or so you spent in the Parliament building. So it's probably about close to 5 o'clock by the time you make it there. So as you head through the city, you see the buildings become more and more sparse. The military encampment is on an incline that leads to the top of a cliff that oversees most of the valley below. At the top of that cliff is a converted barracks, which is now the soon-to-be open Temple of Lucius. Magnificent and sprawling, it takes up the entire temple itself takes up the size of the entire temple grounds of the rest of the temples, and then some. It's enormous, and it is home to some of the most beautiful works of art that any of you have ever seen, just on the outside of the walls.
Huh.
So,
I am quietly impressed.
mhm. So you head up there. There are no guards. Well, no, there's no guards, but Lucius is a war god, so there are people training in the courtyard as well, fighting. But they seem to be fighting with a certain intensity that maybe their previous sparring did not possess.
Welcome
That's
to
what I'd
the.
like to see. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine to be impressed. Most often think of Lucius as just a beautiful god of beauty, blah blah blah. But really, there is grace in war and elegance in fighting. Welcome to the Temple of Lucius.
So you see several members of the clergy in a prayer to an altar of a statue of a tall, slender man with an elegance and grace, pridefulness about him. He is holding a rapier, extending it to the world. So basically, pointing it toward the valley below, with a marble cape that is frozen in a constant state of wind-blown flutter, which might be redundant. You can tell this is probably a monument to Lucius, but that's pretty common sense.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to do?
I would like to check on the people, see if we have any people missing from our flock, and see if they're all right.
So one of the
Oh, excuse me.
Nuns of the temple. Well, they don't have nuns. They're not quite that uptight. One of the priestesses of the temple, an elvish woman who has the appearance of a human woman in her 20s, approaches you and gives a small, polite curtsy. Sister Colette, it's good to see you still alive. What brings you here in these dire times?
Ah, sister, unfortunately, I am not here on easy matters. I wish to see if everyone is all right and if there's any way we can help.
Sadly, Lucius and his grace did not grant all members of our flock the same grace that he granted you, for I know that you attended the event as well.
Yes, I did.
In total, they're still counting. There's still more who fall every minute that passes. But some 300 people are supposed to have died, with others nearing the brink of death themselves as we speak.
300? Colette is very shocked. She wouldn't believe that Lucius would allow something like this to happen on his great festival day. So she's having a little trauma right now.
I can tell that you're surprised by this. But know that as great and mighty and wise, beautiful as Lucius is, he is not all-powerful, and there are many who would oppose his reign over our kingdom on Earth.
You are right. Thank you for reaffirming.
Now, with these 300 or so deaths, have we come closer to seeing what exactly it is that's killing them? Is it just a poisoning or a disease, or have we, gotten more to the bottom of it?
We believe that it is a fast-acting poison. Obviously, we are not the authorities, and they keep these things tight, close to their chest, as they're searching for answers, but
I don't know how close it is, but they're definitely doing something. Sorry.
regardless, they seem to be in agreement that it was a poison, not a disease or a curse or anything supernatural.
That would have been quite a lot of poison to get so many people all at the same time.
It would.
Or a very potent one. What could be so potent as to kill so many?
I do not know. There are many things in this world that are beyond my knowledge and the knowledge of those who worship here. But such things exist. Of this I'm certain. We bore witness to it today.
Now, I have a question. So a poison like this would obviously not be common. Is there someone in town we could probably learn from who would know where you could get something like this?
Maybe like an alchemist or something?
Yeah. Or like a seedy underground person Korg would know. Like,
Yeah.
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 Underground.
Yes, there are apothecaries all over the city. Some more successful than others, and some that are a little bit less reputable than others. But there are places that would know what this is for sure, or at least have an idea. But but they obviously wouldn't know all the details of the event because although most of them took the day off, they don't know the details of what's going on other than that it was a poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
They could guess.
Well, we were there at Ground Zero. We could maybe say the symptoms and all the amount of casualties.
So there are places scattered throughout the city.
Mm-hmm.
What do you wish to do?
Find
Yeah,
someone like that, maybe?
Yeah, I think it's time we see if we know any friendos.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Before we leave, Colette would collect some of her things, and she didn't have her weapon at the ceremony, but she would grab it.
So the sister that you spoke to, I assume you like, do you live in the temple or do you just...
Yeah, she lives in the temple.
Okay. So you go. What all do you grab?
Now I know I said a warhammer, but I'm thinking of changing it to a rapier because that's Lucius's weapon.
Okay.
Well, I mean, your dex is a lot higher
Oh, that's
Then
true.
than your strength. So,
That
I mean,
That would mean it work out even better.
It would work out. Oh, thank God. Okay.
it's not something that you're technically proficient in, but for the sake of character.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, so she is going to grab that. She's going to grab a cloak and some, like a little amulet to Lucius.
see, you can't get mad at me for not remembering your,
I know,
remembering your own
it's freaking
deities.
stuck in my head. I can't help it. He is so great. He takes many forms. It's fine. But like, she's not gonna take food or water because like they're still in the city.
I don't know what's going on with the stupid mouse. It's clicking constantly.
Oh,
Trying to...
but yeah, she's just gonna get a cloak, her weapon, and a little amulet.
Just a
So
little.
the sister that stopped you before, her name is Sister Beth, let's say.
Okay.
She sees that you're heading off with weapons with weapons and things that would imply you might not be back in the immediate future. And she says, "So you're off, I see, again."
I'm sorry, Beth. I can't I can't leave them unguarded. We have to find who did this. We have to avenge our family.
And may our God's speed and grace guide your steps. And may you bring vile fiends to justice.
In Lucius's name, I shall. And she clasps hands with Beth.
I'm gonna roll my eyes instead of my dice.
They ignore you.
I would expect them to.
Fiora is just very like a child, just curiously watching everything unfold.
But you don't want to lose daylight. You're already losing it here, so I suggest you get a move on. I don't suspect I'll be seeing you soon, but in any event, pray you're successful for the sake of our God and His name. Farewell.
Farewell, sister.
Okay, so you head down the mountain or the cliffside, and you can see practically to the end of the city and back. The sun is setting on your right hand side as you walk down the mountain. You're heading south, so that makes sense. And you can see that you can see almost all of the city's districts from where you stand. The tall, proud Tower of the Queen, the somewhat less impressive Parliament building, and the plaza, or I should say, and slightly to the east of that, you see something that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. You see small figures bustling about in the plaza of the gods.
While we're walking, I'm gonna kind of lean in and whisper to Eviana. So, was that also your sister, or was it just her sister? How many sisters are there?
Too many. No, she's my only sister. That's not her real sister. That's just a weird church thingy, I think.
Oh, so it's not blood or
Yeah.
anything like that.
I
Interesting.
mean, it better not be.
Oh, well, that would have some implications. Okay, that's all I was curious about.
Yeah, no problem.
So, where are you headed as you walk down the rocky incline leading up to the Temple of Lucius?
I'm just following the people who live here.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I could lead us to some sort of local apothecary, whether or not a reputable source or not.
Okay. So, what part of the city is? You said you were a tavern owner, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What part of the city do you think you would be in?
Probably I don't know. It would be either a dockside kind of place. Korg is the epitome of upper lower class. So it's more of a Patty's Pub or a Moe's Tavern than it is a Cheers.
So So are you going to head in that direction, or you think you would head someplace a little bit closer to where you are? The dock is to the far southwest of the city. You are in the northeast section of it.
Right, the exact opposite side of town.
Yes, and it's a large city, but it's
Yes.
also what you know best.
Uh-huh. I mean, I know some good poisoners and doctors and chemists and alchemists and other assorted users of substances we could interact with.
Well, lead the way then. I don't know anything about this town.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. Look. And I just like point at a like a pigeon. It's like that's our most popular bird.
Oh, a pigeon?
A pigeon sitting on a rock nearby, pecking at some misplaced seed.
Salt,
Somebody, like a dropped sunflower seed or something. Looks over at you and turns a curious eye, and then returns to what it was doing.
I wouldn't call it the most popular. Probably the most plentiful, though. They're everywhere.
Yes, just like people and the poor, we're everywhere.
Ah,
The
and,
pigeon then takes off and presumably joins its other flock of birds flying overhead. There are far too numerous of them to count.
Fear.
Fear will reveal Syndra again and just kind of like feed him a little bit of a snack.
I think I like mine better.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, we already met him, but
Also fair. I've seen a lot of pigeons though.
the shock value is gone. But
So
anyway,
are you heading to your side of town or somewhere closer?
I would vote for my side of town, but if other people don't want to walk for 5 hours,
But I won't
Even
take 5
taking-
hours, but it will take time.
exaggeration, but even taking shortcuts, it's going to take a while.
Where has the best abodes in town?
That's also a matter of opinion.
There are some lovely taverns, and there are some cheap taverns. It is more up to your preference, I suppose.
Cheap.
I've lived in the desert for quite a long time. I don't have much of a fine taste, as they call it. So I will bow to your all's wisdom.
So the city is laid out thusly. Far northwest section of the town is a relatively low class area, residential area. Directly to the east of that is a slightly upper class residential area known as Barrisburg. To the east of that is the Arts District, which is where the festival party was held. You are heading down the military encampment along the road. There are several different military bases and small homes built into and in some cases out of the rocks. To the south of you guys is old downtown known as Drakenton. It's to the south of that is the industrial district. To the west of that is the third residential district, kind of a middle-ish / upper class area. North of that is the Royal District, which is where you guys were earlier. West of that is the Merchant District, and to the west of that is the port, which runs alongside the entire coastline of the city. So with that in mind, does that help influence your decision on where to go at all?
Normally, I would say we should stay in the art district as it is lovely this time of year. But right now, I think we should look somewhere else.
Yeah.
All I'm
Alright.
saying is you're not getting the most potent of potions and poisons from the same people that make your perfumes.
That's quite a lot of alliteration.
Yeah, it was. I like it.
Then I suppose we should make our way and find those who do make them.
Yes.
To the port district.
Okay. So as you head down the mountain, again, the buildings become slightly more dense as you grow closer and closer to the bottom of the military encampment. A new barracks lines most of the bottom section of the wall leading up to it on your left-hand side, so towards the east wall. The fastest way to get there is to head again through the Royal District, avoiding downtown because it's the windiest and least logical construction of any place. So you're somewhat familiar with this by now since you've seen many of the sites before. Very new, polished, uninteresting. People, as I've said before, are gossiping, but there are more people crying now than there had been. It's not exactly commonplace in Janisport to be outwardly emotional, but these people, some of them have lost people in the events of the day. And it's pretty obvious who has or hasn't lost somebody. Okay, the merchant district is full of many people who would normally be buying and selling. This is a holiday, so there's not as much of that going on anyway. And as you cross this part of the town, the sun finally goes behind the clouds, and the gas lights turn on in the city, and it becomes a lot brighter as you walk through the cobblestone paths of Janisport. Finally, the closer you get to the port district, the less upper class the buildings become. Some of them are in slight states of disrepair, and the port is in varying states of repair itself. It is large, relatively unwieldy. Some docks are enormous, with vessels that carry very important and prestigious individuals, as there have been many people from across the world at this event. And then there are some that are just one single ship docks as well, relatively unutilized and small and slightly long in the tooth, so to speak. So where do you want to go?
Should I just make up an alchemist shop, or?
Sure, make one up.
Oh no. We'll call it the equivalent exchange, I guess.
The equivalent exchange.
That was the first alchemy thing that popped in my head.
Fair enough. So the equivalent exchange.
You know what? This is the bad side of town. We'll call it an unequivalent exchange.
It's like the great value, you know.
The ill equivalent exchange.
Ill equivalent.
Should say is a not so well-to-do apothecary who is kind of bursting, or should say is kind of, I don't know how to explain it. He's not doing too hot. The apothecary shop itself is not. The apothecary himself is a balding man in his 30s, who is leaned back against a small bookshelf of books that he has procured over the length of his business. He seems... Roll a perception check.
Alright.
And this is anybody or everybody.
Ooh.
That
Don't mind if I
is
do.
just a 9.
19.
Okay, so
12.
he has a hat over his face, but you can hear a very faint sound that sounds like snoring.
Oh my god. Ah, this seems the place for very dubious dealings.
Look, old Edwin might like to sleep on the job, but he's good at what he does.
I can tell by how many customers he has.
Hey, if you're gonna buy a strong
Right.
poison, you don't want lots of customers around. Edwin
know, I
Rowan
can hear
Gardner
you.
is the best alchemist I know. Hi, Ed.
Hey, bud.
I've learned to hear in my sleep over the years. And I'm not that old. I'm in my 30s. 35.
Oh, it
really
talks.
2
Sorry.
years older than me. You're practically ancient.
Everyone keeps saying that to me. I've only been in the business for 2 years myself.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, experienced.
Listen here, little missy.
Yeah,
One
stop
day
being
in the
rude.
dockside slums of Janisport is worth 10 years in your prissy little whatever you call it temple.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the many pristine slums I visited feeding the orphans. Go on.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna give me your rapier and your armor, and you'll go outside, and I'll see you in 4 hours.
I won't do any of that, but I will wait outside. And she turns around in a huff.
I mean, that's not proving much. You're heavily armed, and but okay, bye. So, Edwin, I'm sure by now you've heard of the kerfuffle we had across town.
So you were there, huh?
Yeah.
Bad business. Bad business. Bad for business. People don't trust apothecaries in such times.
Yeah, about that. You wouldn't happen to know where one would acquire a fast-acting poison that is mostly undetectable by taste that can affect hundreds of people, both over a matter of seconds and within 3 hours after imbibing?
Sounds a little bit like castor extract. It's too fast acting for that. I've heard a little something about it, but I mean, it seems. I don't know. Let me go thumb through one of the Orborca, see if I can come up with anything.
Nice. I get it.
Is Eviana.
Yeah.
So no, never mind. Another time. Another time.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
He wants to know if your sister's always like this, or if...
I mean, I wasn't going. She seems very.
Prissy?
Were you from a
bitchy,
wealthy family?
Annoying?
Were you from a wealthy family?
Well, kind of ish. Our family was well to do. I mean, we were kind of like. Sis, were we from a wealthy family?
Was she outside?
She's
I,
outside because I made fun of her.
Sis!
player,
Rich and bougie.
convo. I thought like we were rich among the caravan,
Yeah,
but
like, we
that's
were,
like a
like, the
big
head
fish in a
people.
little pond.
Yeah.
So it's not that they were rich, it's just
They were in
she has
charge.
a strict personal code. So going to a place like this is like, oh heck no.
And to me, it just seems like she's the kind of person who's too
Yeah.
above slumming it.
But she's not above it. Like she loves helping the poor in charity work. She just doesn't like dubious dealings.
Well, sometimes life is dubious.
I'm outside.
Doobie.
I come from a place where nature is so against you that everyone is fairly equal. So it's different.
Come on.
That's why I was curious. But I think I'll actually step outside with her. That way she's not entirely alone.
You'll see.
He's just go ahead real quick. I don't want
Oh, I was gonna say when you go outside, you're gonna see Colette like sitting at the sidewalk with her back up against the shop wall, and she's just staring off to the distance, fuming. She's just.
I'm gonna send like Syndra over to kind of like flutter on her shoulder, and just look as cute as he can.
Colette's gonna kind of like huff and look down a bit dejectedly and pet the bird, but like hope no one sees it. She like.
I think Fira will just kind of sit, and she won't necessarily say anything, but just kind of, if Colette wants to talk, she can talk.
Thanks.
How sweet.
Do you want us to talk about what's going on in the shop first, or what do you want?
No, go ahead and do your thing. I don't want to. Good stuff. Go ahead.
Okay. Colette, still looking down at the ground, is gonna say quietly, I suppose you're not all seeing me on my best day.
I don't... It's not been a great day, but... judging someone by their best day is kind of a poor way to judge somebody.
Yes, I suppose so.
You know, we had a saying. And I think it kind of fits you. You seem... And Fira kind of touches the armor, because you wear heavy armor, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like touches like the plate armor, kind of like knocks against it almost. You wear very strong armor. Very heavy, very protective, right? But, you put your heart outside of it. You wear that on top of your armor. Makes you, vulnerable, but it means you have a good heart. So, I can tell that much at least.
Thank you, Fira. It means a lot. Hopefully this armor will come in use when we catch who's done this.
So, you guys have been talking for about 10 minutes or so. Just shooting the breeze. And the Edwin, I guess, says, yes, found it. By the way, what exactly brings you to an apothecary at 8 p.m.?
Well, we're doing our civic duty.
Civic duty?
We were at the party.
Cleaning public restrooms or something?
No, justice. And I kind of like, when I say justice, I look off at nothing and clench my fist.
See. So you're after these crooks, I see.
I mean, 300 plus people dropped down in my city at a party at that. Can't let that go unchecked.
350.
Oh, good. The number's going up. Wonderful.
Well, I only hope that this information will help you find who's responsible, because not a whole lot to go on, but it's something. The effects of this poison, what? I assume you told him what the side effect, what the symptoms these people were experiencing were, yeah, because he wasn't there and he's been in his building all day, so he hasn't really heard a whole lot about it. And obviously, not getting a whole lot of business right now.
Yeah. No, we're still going to go in and give them, all the info we have to get all the info we need. We're not going to have.
So based on the symptoms you're describing to me, this sounds a lot like purified castor oil. Castor oil is sometimes used to help. It's good for the liver, but it also, if the vapors are breathed in, can cause violent coughing and vomiting, which it sounds like these people were experiencing. The problem is doesn't act particularly quickly. It acts very slowly, virtually undetectable. So the only thing I found that matches the description of that is a plant grown back on the mainland of Antalos, and you all know this is the continent from which most of you originated. Everyone except for Korg started out there. It seems to grow in the northern regions of Aetveria towards the God's Mouth. The God's Mouth is a large body of water from which the Arabian River flows. The Arabian River feeds the land of Aetveria and separates it from Courland, the country to the south. But it's a very rare plant that only grows that is only known to grow in the region around the God's Mouth. It is controlled by Aetveria.
And the name of this plant?
It doesn't have a scientific name yet. The common name of this is... Okay, I'm thinking of something. I don't have a name for it yet.
I can Metal Gear Solid it and just put in Lale Lulelo, and you can come back to us next week. And
You say something?
I said I can Metal Gear Solid it and just put in Lale Lulelo, and you can come back next week and have a name.
Just 1 second. I think my headset just died. So
Uh-oh. Unless I'm not being loud, but
No, we can hear you.
right
I'm
back.
good. You can probably hear my bird, and you can probably hear Corinne in the other room.
Dude, I told him to charge that headset, but no.
Oh god. This party's gonna be very interesting.
Oh,
'Cause
yes.
You'll have very like strong personalities, and like Fear is just like not quite like a dog, but just like it's just like, what is all of this? I'm so curious. I just want to kind of like watch.
Well, we have 3 different chips on 3 different shoulders.
It's
So-
true.
Okay, bye. I just gave him a cord. Sorry, I was muted.
How dare you?
Oh, are you talking to me?
No, you're outside.
Oh, man. I do love it when all characters have very strong personalities. And I am looking forward to this.
In our Starfinder game, I'm a Russian teddy bear. Or a Russian bear, but I'm really gentle.
Aw.
Barrington.
No, my name is Wojtek Arsan. I am an uplifted bear, and I am the captain of the Kodiak.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my god. Have you ever played Guild Wars 2?
No.
There's a race of polar bear people in the north, and they're so cool. Oh god, what are they called? The Coda, maybe? Hold on. Let me look it up.
Okay, I can hear you guys somewhat anyway.
Is
I
it
had to
your
go to a less low-tech version of solution. So, let me pick something out. It's the name of the poison. The name of the plant that this poison is produced from is
Not so good, Leaf.
The bad food. Do not consume.
Unkind Bud.
so it's like a castor
devil's
or
tongue.
castor is a bean, so it's probably some sort of bean. But bean sounds stupid.
Leg Doom.
It's I don't know. Something bean. I'll come back to that. I didn't have a name for it.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, honey.
No, I'll think of a name for it. It's not good, okay? it doesn't have a name yet. But I will be the first person to name this. I will be the most powerful apothecary ever.
Oh, I wish I could be snarky, but I'm outside. Dang it.
Let's see. The Indian pea, Lathyrus sativus, can be poisonous.
It's like it's related to it's related to castor oil, except it's more deadly. So castor. So,
The kidney bean, if it hasn't been properly prepared.
Anyway, this
Ravioli.
thing.
okay, so
Bulgari.
we'll come back
Sorry.
to that.
Wait,
But for
so was
now,
that real
it
about
is-
kidney beans?
It's bad. It's a bad bean. So, and it is extremely poisonous, extremely rare, and only the wealthy have any have access to it.
Okay.
Only the wealthy, huh?
Yes.
I say not in character. Because I'm
Yeah, you're
not
not even
there. Yeah.
I go, oh, the rich, huh?
Street gang.
Yeah. But even if a person could get their hands on something like this, could had the means to get their hands on something like this, that is, the methods they'd have to go through, it's not even something that the average Duke has access to. He would need an inn.
I look over to Colette, or not Colette, Eviana, and I go, oh, if Eviana's back. She's still muted. But
She's not quite back yet.
oh, okay. Well, I'm still gonna look over to Eviana and go, oh, not even the average politician, eh? It seems like it would have to be someone who's been on this parliament since it was created. Yeah, that sounds smart, Corp.
Oddly specific, but yes, possibly. But even they would need some sort of connection to the land where it came from.
Indeed.
I don't know who controls the land, but give me a second. I'm gonna pull something up because I have the document that has the people who are in control of that land. But any Advarian citizen or former Advarian citizen could probably tell you.
Indeed. I'm gonna do the good old-fashioned take out a gold piece and slap it on the table on the counter and go, thanks for the information. No one needs to know we came by asking about this. And I also take a pen from next to his cash register, pocket it. Just buying a pen. And I wink and we walk out. You know, like some sort of weirdo.
Pleasure doing business with you.
And I lift up, do the wave at somebody behind you, just lift up my hand halfway and walk
Get
up.
the F out of here.
Okay, bye. Jeez.
Okay, so what did we learn today?
That went well.
What?
That
That was DM me, not guys.
I know. I'm like, wow. Jeez, Ed. Nah, we walk outside and I go, hello, I have information from my lowly, unimportant, poor contact.
Oh, you mean your deceitful, concerning, potentially plagiarizing contact? Yes, what of him?
It was a bean.
A
A
bean.
bean?
You were in there. Oh, you weren't in there. Your character was in there. Yeah,
Yes.
so,
A bean.
yes.
A bean.
Mm-hmm.
A
The
bean,
kingdom is saved! We know it's a
Hey,
bean!
Let me finish this sentence. It's from a very rare plant on the main continent, near the opening of the God's Mouth. There's not even a name for this plant. It's so rare
Wait.
and expensive.
You're saying it's by the god's mouth?
Yup.
That may be true. Although I don't know if we'd call it a bean per se, but I have heard stories of the god's mouth being a bit perilous.
It's likely that only a well-to-do, rich politician with good connections would be able to get their hands on
Well, of course,
a
it's
small
not
amount of these beans.
easily harvested by anyone. You would have to be quite rich. Or
And
you
you know
could
what
be quite recently rich. I wonder if someone
A list of who won the lottery.
or who was paid off. Korg, would any of your people notice if someone was suddenly a bit more richer than they had been before?
Yeah, because usually we try to make him a little less richer than his new richer, so that everybody else gets a little more richer. It's like an
Yes.
estate tax.
But we don't have to find the person per se, but rather who supplied it.
Should we start going to some sleazy taverns and see if anyone just came into a bunch of money? Maybe some gambling places? That's where I'd go if I won a bunch of money. Whew.
We could even go to the God's Mouth itself, but I prefer we stay in town.
Yes, let's just all get on a boat and go to the God's Mouth, and
Oh, that's
hopefully nobody else
exciting.
will die.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, I see what you did there.
It was sarcasm,
Oh,
you see.
Yeah.
sorry. I will say, and she just kind of points to the sun that is setting. We should probably find somewhere to sleep. I have yet to find lodging in town, so I at least need to do that.
Yeah, so do I.
And we are a
Well,
bit
it
far
was
from
rude.
the temple.
Mm-hmm.
I am part owner of an inn here on the coast.
Oh. Cool.
I don't
Very
run it, I just,
Frequent.
own,
You-
you know.
Own
A
it,
piece
or
of
do
it.
you go there a lot and have a chair that you claim as yours?
Well, it was originally the second, and now it's the first.
Neat.
Lead the way.
All right, I didn't come up with a name for this inn because I forgot that was part of it.
Okay, I have the
You have the
lovely
name
pick-
generator.
the name generator in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
Hey.
Any of these speak to you?
Your
As
best
soon
friend.
as I find it.
Yes.
I love these. The last one I think was like the barking lamb or something. Yes. So we roll 2 d20s. Tell me what you roll,
All right.
and tell me if it sucks. And we can re-roll it.
Well, a 6 and a
Six.
17.
So the Gilded Satyr. Does that sound something like something you
Oh.
would name your inn?
Well, I wouldn't name it because it's not my inn. Well, it's my inn, but not my inn. I'm part owner, minority owner.
I'm a little confused on the ownership mechanics in this city.
I think he's confused as well.
No, it's like,
Well, you can at least have a say in the name if you think it sounds stupid. You can.
nah, I don't mind it.
Okay.
It's all
The
right.
Gilded Satyr it is.
It's a quality.
It
name.
sounds a lot fancier than it actually
Oh,
is.
it's
Like
How they
every
get
town.
business. Yeah.
Should have named it the Barking Lamb or the Barking Satyr.
the barking satyr. Ooh, I like
Can
that.
we make
Dick drawing satyr.
You can name it the Barking Satyr if you please.
Forget the look out
Unlimited
tramping
power.
the Gilded Satyr is the real hotel? This is like the knockoff. Like,
Yeah.
God.
But we claim we were here first, but
yeah. And you
Like,
say
we
your
would
beer's
have-
better.
we only water it down a little bit.
Oh my
It's not
god.
Kellogg's, it's Kellogg's. It's
Mhm.
different.
It's the Great Valley of Bacon.
the Barking Satyr.
Papa
I didn't even
Jim.
know a satyr
Where the
could...
beer is here.
No.
And I'm full of fear.
That's all you have to
Legend
say.
says it's the barking satyr because the owner met a satyr, but the satyr had rabies. And he didn't know, and he thought that's just how satyrs were.
I mean, I've had rabies, and that's not how it works.
So, how much would a room cost at this establishment?
I mean, not a lot. Cause
So what do you guys usually? Okay, first of all, I'm not super savvy on like how much money people usually have. You guys are level 3, so how much money would a level 3 person probably have?
It depends on your background. Like,
There's a table too for classes per
yeah.
class.
Let me go to that. It's in
I
the
only have not 10 gold pieces written down. That's just like the starting gold for my class.
yeah, sure. That's fairly wealthy for somebody of your.
I mean, for
background.
now, it's like whatever. I'm an urchin. Like 9 gold pieces? Are you kidding me?
So let's just come up with it. It's in the start of this section. So
There is
a wizard, 4d4 GP times 10.
Yep.
So you guys are fairly wealthy. The currency here is dragons, because it's the dragon continent. So it's like they put the faces of their important members, the important people in their history, like we put presidents on our coinage.
I have 100 gold then.
Shit. Do I get a roll? Well, what's my chart?
Rangers 5d4 times 10.
Somehow more wealthy than wizards.
What's a
It's 'cause of
cleric?
all that make.
Cleric, 5d4 times 10.
Alright, I get it. You
I
guys are
would
right.
just tell me what a fudge a barbarian would have is, I guess, what I would use.
2d4 times 10.
2d4 times 10.
That tracks with the urchin background.
Yeah.
110 gold.
Okay. So you were fairly successful on your romp around the
70.
countryside, taking names. getting
Romp?
ladies.
Guys, I
Mhm.
started with 70 gold and I've already spent 1 gold piece.
Ooh.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say Cord probably knew what he was doing.
Oh, I knew what I was doing. It was a joke that only I got to be part of. So, you could probably expect, 1 or 2 silver. Depends if you want to share a room or you want your own room.
I guess it depends on how safe we feel. I am not opposed to sharing rooms at all.
It's cheap. I'm
Well,
always
yeah.
here to make a deal.
Lodging. Let's see.
In a
An
small.
inn. So it's so the ranking system is squalid, poor, modest, comfortable, wealthy, and aristocratic.
Yeah. I would
probably
probably
not.
say that the common room would be the poor, and then if you get your own room, it would be modest.
Okay, so poor is 1 silver piece, and modest is 5. So 5 silver dragons or 1 silver dragon.
Okay.
Assume you have your currency converted.
Yeah, if a silver dragon is a silver, I'm just gonna mark. I mean, that's stupid of me to have said that sentence. I'm just gonna say I have 690 silver dragons and not even worry about gold pieces.
Right. Okay.
Is 1 gold, 10 silver
Yeah.
for you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Gil, would you like a lot of raisins?
It's like 50 raisins.
Have you just been eating the fun parts of your trail mix?
Yeah, I don't like
The
raisins.
raisins are the fun part.
See,
Dump
that's
them out, I
why
want
you
more
guys
back.
are together. There.
I need the lid back so I can put more raisins in it.
Oh, they're
Um,
salty.
Well, since you're all my guests, I'll at least get all of your rooms.
Fira, I make a point to not ask my sister to share a room. Would you want to share a room tonight?
I'm fine with sharing a room with whoever.
Cool. I got the cost. Don't worry about it.
No. It's 5 silver dragons. Whatever.
Oh, do you have the cost? I mean, in that case.
Yeah, I got the room. You can buy
Oh,
your own
oh.
drinks. But,
Well, I would like to buy a couple of ales.
Ooh, a couple of ales.
Yeah, start out with 2. They go by
All
fast.
All right, I'm gonna drop myself down to 670 gold because it's an investment in my own business. I'm a job creator, you see. You could say I'm a lord of the land. Just kidding.
You kind of give
Landlord
me.
of evil.
An orc of the people.
Yes.
You kinda
You're
give
a
me-
baronet. You're not quite a lord.
No, I actually hate lords. I tend to punch them.
Fortunate you live in a society without them.
Good.
It's more or less egalitarian country.
We get more egalit by the day.
Go, can I have the wood back?
So yeah,
Yo.
you can describe. I mean, in my head, it just looks like a lot of rough hewn wood. Maybe since we're up on the docks, we might have some barnacles on the outside,
So,
not on the inside, though.
So yes, it's not a terrible place. It's modest. It's probably the equivalent of about a 3-star hotel in our world, except most places in the city have running water, and this is no exception. So it has running water. You can draw a bath if you want. They do not. The heat, or I should say, they don't have like a. What do you call it? Like they don't have like a boiler or anything. Although they are working on it. There is. They do heat the water and bring it up to each person's room.
I have
Or
my
the bathroom,
men.
that is.
Have my top men working on a boiler, and you see 2 goblins in the corner just banging pipes together. They'll get there.
Oh my
It's a
God.
nice establishment. It's far nicer than you would expect in Antalos, where most of you have been for most of your lives, because this is a city that's on the rise, and it is fairly. It's not too bad, and especially for what you're paying for it.
It's quite the nice establishment, Korg. I think you're doing quite well for a businessman.
And I kind of do the. If I had suspenders, I'd hold my suspenders, but instead I hold the sides of my jacket up. Well, thank
Do you accidentally tear off the pull-away sleeves, or did you leave them behind? I forget.
I thought I didn't mention that yet, did I?
You did.
Yeah, that was a secret. I was drinking a lot last week because I'm bad. No, they're already put back on because they're snaps.
Oh,
So
okay.
I snapped
Cool.
them back on.
So you sneakily reattached to them without anybody seeing.
I pulled them off when it was danger time, and then I threw them back on.
It's action time.
Yes.
Okay, so do you talk to anybody around the bar? Do you do anything while you're here?
I mean, I'm gonna go up and get a beer, put it on my tab.
Korg, your tab grows ever longer, and my wallets run ever thinner.
Well, okay. How big is it?
How big is the?
The tab. What's it at right now?
You're sitting at about 50 gold dragons.
50 gold dragons.
That sounds like Korg.
Well, here's. Fine. You know what? We'll start over from the beginning. So I give him the 50 gold dragons, and I go, from now on, though, put it back on my tab.
As you wish, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty.
Well, you are one of the lords of this establishment.
Shh.
so-
We don't
What
use
are
the Lord word around here.
Ooh.
One
I
of the
didn't know
L
that you were-
words in this establishment.
Love.
Oh, Korg, you should have told us you were so special.
I'm not really. I mean, I'm a member of the community.
A lord of the community, apparently.
You're a lord of the community.
Well, no,
Wow.
I'd be a lady of the community, but
Is everyone just fancy and I didn't realize?
I'm actually.
Oh
not.
yeah, this might be a good time since we're introducing to people who are, possible flavor characters that we might have an interaction with. What describe your appearance? I don't think I have an idea of what any of you look like, except racial traits.
Since we're introducing our characters real quick, Tupacula, thank you so much for the raid. Ah! Sorry, D&D night. Okay, go. Sorry, I usually don't address during D&D, but...
Whatever.
Colette.
Yeah.
Go for it, Colette. What do you look like?
Yeah.
Oh, frick, do I have to
Sis.
go first? Oh,
Yep.
God.
Yep. Streamer problems.
Oh, gosh dang it.
It's your channel.
Tupacula, look what you've done. Anyway, Colette, as the tieflings in this world are ice originated, not like flame based, she is pale purple. Her horns are a darker purple. She has very light white blonde hair, and her eyes are this unnerving, so pale they kind of almost blend into the white of her eyes. She's the same height and build as her lovely sister, who's played by the amazing Swampy, and I swear I don't hate. Colette just hates her character. But her horns are softer. They're more ram-like than Eviana's very angry horns. She wears silver and blue armor, and she has she wears a lot of light blues, and her cloak is light blue and silver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
Would Eviana like to go next? Since she's like
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, I can go. Okay. So, Aviana, much like her sister, has a sort of, actually, one second, I have the exact stuff.
Yeah,
written
we
down.
like, me and her DM'd each other and like had a whole discussion about how we would look since they're twins.
Okay, I remember. Okay, I have it now. So, my character has a very soft, almost periwinkle shade of skin, just a bit darker than, like, more of a warm undertone than her sister. And her horns go into a lighter shade of purple than her sister's. At the very tips, they are this deep lavender color. Her eyes are also very. What did you say? Did you say white?
Like icy, almost like a
icy,
blue.
like Yeah, my Eviana's eyes are like an icy lilac color, and her horns less soft and gentle looking than Colette's, go more back and then are just starting to go straight up at the back of her head. And yeah, she has a couple more like scars on her face, like one on her jaw, just a little scar. It's like it's kind of hard to see in her skin, but you can see it shine in certain lights, and little scratches on like her shoulders or arms. So she looks more angry and beat up. So yeah, that's Eviana.
Is it my turn?
Sure.
Okay. I was gonna let you go, Gil, but I'll go. Korg is a very tall half-orc. He's 6'5", 315 pounds. I got the, I got a lot more orky traits than human traits. So I got, really, my skin's quite a green skin. I got my lower tusks are really pronounced, and they have been matching, the tattooed arms and chest he has. His tusks have been like scrimshot into, so they've been carved, and he's got piercings on the ends of each one as well. He's got he's got cauliflower ears from getting in fist fights. He's clearly his nose has been broken multiple times.
Stunning.
And he's got a. You can't. I don't have that in my picture down there because I just found a good, grumpy-looking half orc. But he does have a nice big black beard and some braided black hair as well. And yeah, he wears that the sweet long trench coat with removable arms and a halfway decent slacks, boots, and a waistcoat. Waistcoat with nothing underneath. So he's just wearing a vest without anything under the vest. And that's
Killing
cool.
it.
Okay. Fira is a normally kind of a deep red, like just a very, very rich red color skin with hair that is kind of down to almost to her shoulders, but not quite. Just past the chin. That has a vibrant hue of different reds, from dark maroon, almost wine underneath, to like bright, almost pinkish reds, with just how like kind of bright they are. And it almost seems to kind of ripple like a flame. She has amber isn't quite right. She has almost like or yellow, more yellow, but there is a hint of orange in her eyes. She has very soft features, very much like a some kind of like freckles, almost like a freckled redhead. And she wears the garb of a traveler, someone that's traveled in all sorts of terrains and has traveled for a long time. She has a spell book on her hip. And I think that's about it. She is about 5'4", in her mid-20s. That'd be her, though.
Oh, I like it.
She's pretty cute by conventional standards.
So, folk, so what will you be doing tonight on this wonderful night?
Oh. I guess drinking a little bit, sleeping a little bit. I don't know if you folk are taking a bath, maybe.
Yeah, I need one.
It would make sense to, I suppose.
If I can fit one in, I mean, I've got a very busy schedule tonight as I am halfway through my beer already.
Is there a separate bath per room, or
No,
is
there's
it-
there's a bathroom, literally, not like there. I mean, every room has its own chamber pot. Wow, with running water.
Oh, so other women will be there, including my sister. I see.
I suppose, yes.
I mean, I imagine it more like Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of bath.
No! No!
Yeah.
Does someone come to wash me then?
Only if you want to spend the extra couple bucks.
It's one of the goblins.
My Arthur Morgan was always a self-sufficient bather, but
Freaking,
True.
I streamed Red Dead and they told me to go take a bath and I didn't know what would happen, and then it happened.
You met Peach's great-great-great-great-grandmother.
Oh god, let's not talk about peaches. Anyway, Colette would go ahead and try to use the bath first before Eviana got there.
Is it
No,
a single person bath?
We're
No,
we're
I mean,
facing.
I think this is a large enough establishment to where there's probably multiple baths, although you can pay extra for a private one if you want.
How much extra?
A bath, let's say it costs, I don't know, silver piece.
Oh,
A
well,
private bath costs silver and a copper.
oh,
Silver and 5 coppers.
she will pay that and have some privacy.
Eviana just goes and takes a bath.
I feel like that just takes away from the be able to talk.
That's all
She,
right.
like-
Talk to people,
fine.
right?
Colette like runs by.
I put my arm around Fear and go,
Can I?
little lass, we're gonna have a fun night tonight. First things first, and I turn to the bartender. Can I get my friend here a pint? And can you send the uptight a bottle of our finest, cheapest house wine? And a note that says, I'm sorry I made fun of you at Eddie's.
Sure. And for such reasonable company, I'll even let you put it on your tab.
My man.
Evie, do you want to go bathe first before drinking, or
She has both
They've
of
already
her
left.
hands are up with mugs of ale. She's just like, why not both?
Oh, okay. Oh well, Cork, I will be back in a moment.
Oh. Awkward. So, I guess I finish my ale. While Fear is gone, I'll drink the one I ordered for Fear.
No, I'll take it with me.
Oh, I see.
I'm drinking time.
I will say, like, just kind of from my vision of where she came from, like, Fear didn't come from a place that was built on like modesty. It's more built like on I attribute it to like a European centric place where it's like commonplace to bathe in front of people and nudity just doesn't bother people. It's like as soon as you get into the bathroom, Fear is just naked already.
Oh,
And then getting
Like,
into the bath.
hello.
Like she just doesn't care. Like it's just normal.
all right. Eager to bathe. I can appreciate that. Chug down one of my ales.
I forget, do you guys go till midnight or 11?
Midnight. So,
Midnight.
Okay, good.
42
I'm like,
more
are-
minutes.
I was like, are we already almost up? Well, 52 more minutes.
42.
It's
11:08.
No, it's
Yeah.
52.
Wait,
Plus
yeah,
two is
it's 52.
52.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
She's a green
That's what do you mean? That's what she said the
Sorry.
whole time. She said
Don't
52.
expect skill here. Stop it.
Man, I'm learning all about things that aren't your skill.
Oh, no. No. You can ask
Well, you guys-
Pixie. She'll tell you.
Oh, I hear sometimes. Don't you worry. Well, you guys go and take your baths. I'm gonna run. I'll be right back.
That's the running. Yeah.
I do hope that your sister one day will maybe bathe with us or spend a bit more time. She seems to isolate herself quite a lot. Oh,
I want to spend as little time with that woman as possible. Jesus, she gives me it's like when you get like your stomach hurts because you're just stressed, you know, and mad all at the same time. She gives me
mhm.
anger gas. I don't like it.
Oh, that sounds quite unfortunate.
Yeah. Sorry for any bubbles. Anyways, she chugs the other ale.
Just Fear kind of drinks on hers. Well, this is quite relaxing.
Yeah, it is nice to get clean again. Especially after everything that happened. So. But, how are you liking the city so far? You know, besides all the death and murdering?
Oh, it's an interesting one. Some different faiths here than I have been around as much.
Yeah. Consider yourself lucky.
I'm not really the faithful type.
Yeah, neither
So-
am I.
I am curious though, maybe if there's a bit of magic here, maybe a store in which I could see if they have anything interesting I could copy down.
Yeah, you're like the wizardy wizard, right? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's neat. I know a few spells. Not many.
Nice. Magic is an interesting art. I find it forever challenging.
Yeah, it was weird the first time I spoke to an animal. That was odd. Cool, but odd. But
It's a unique experience, to say the least.
yeah.
Your sister. I'm assuming she seems like the type that does the divine type of magic.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, she was always kind of like. I honestly, I didn't think she was really gonna do anything when she grew up. She's technically older than me, but I always felt like the older sister. I guess I don't know. She was kind of quiet, unless she was being like snotty or copying me. I don't know. But she ran away, and I just didn't really know what happened after that. So honestly, I thought she was dead. So I guess that's nice that she's not. It's a bit
nice.
weird.
Yeah. It's probably you'll take some time to adjust, huh?
Yeah, I think I'm still in shock a bit. Haven't really processed it. Waiting to go to sleep for that. Usually that fixes everything. So.
Well, I do hope that the two of you can find some even footing with each other. Maybe middle ground.
Do you have any sisters?
No, I was an only child. It's
Comes with
a
its blessings. I can assume. Bit envious.
it's a unique experience, but also siblings are unique too. They have a special kind of understanding with each other.
Is that what other people experience?
What was that?
Is that what other people experience?
I suppose. Though I guess it's different for everybody, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe she'll loosen up a little bit.
We can only hope.
Life's too short. Much too short.
Eviana, can Eviana use thaumaturgy to like make the water bubbly like a hot tub
Yeah,
and just
sure.
kind of sink
I mean,
into
it's
it?
like, isn't it just like, oh, just it's light magic, you know?
You
Yeah.
know we're ice tieflings, right? So
Well, yeah,
it's gonna.
It's not heat. though.
Yeah, no.
Okay,
it's just
okay.
Thaumaturgy is like the
bubbles.
religious prestidigitation, so it's more spooky stuff, but bubbles can be spooky.
Yeah.
I think the last thing before we can
They have-
switch scenes.
They have like little frowny faces on them.
Yeah.
Oh, spooky bubbles. That actually sounds really cute.
I
Yeah, because
know.
it's like your voice booms up to 3 times as loud as normal. You cause flames to flicker. You cause harmless tremors. It's like you're making a minor wonder.
Yeah.
So bubbles.
Chupacula! Oh my god! Thank you so much!
Before we switch scenes, I was going
What?
to say that Vera would
Let me
get
give
out
her
her little
treats.
wire and kind of point in the direction of Colette's bath.
You really are missing out. You could have had a nice fun conversation with Ale, but I understand. You can respond to this message.
Colette is because at this point she would have gotten the wine and the letter. It would have softened her a bit, and she's gonna go into the bathhouse with Fira and Eviana and bring the wine with her. Only
I feel
because of
like
that
Eviana
dang
just
letter.
rolls- Eviana just rolls her eyes until she sees the wine, and she's like, why?
Now don't drink it all.
So, would this be like a communal bath where we're all like in one like big pool almost, or are there individual ones inside?
I feel like this place is the smaller individual baths would be like there'd be like 2 of them. This is probably communal. Unless you paid extra. 1 in
No.
5.
I would just, Fira would just kind of stand up when you came in and be like, "Oh, come on over here. The water's great."
Huh. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a bit comfortable.
Yes, I've noticed.
I like it. It's refreshing.
Uh-huh.
It's like the opposite of you.
Colette goes to a corner and undresses with her back to them. She like...
You know, we could just stare at her and make her really uncomfortable.
Eviana, we're twins. You look the same.
Except for that one mole.
Don't talk about my mole.
And like Fira's like intently watching, like, no, there's slight differences. There's just slight. You can actually see around the thigh and the butt. Your sister's is a little bit different than yours is. But you know, for twins, you guys are pretty alike.
You know, in the butt.
Which one has a better butt?
Colette
fine.
immediately
You don't need to answer
runs
right now.
into the water. She like almost causes like a huge
Better butt.
splash.
Who has the better butt?
She's hiding in a corner, and then she
I
just
mean, I guess-
turns quickly so you don't see anything.
Roll for it, Psyche. Oh, are you
Roll
rolling?
to
Or
hide
are we
nudity?
doing a con?
Are
Are
we-
we doing?
Roll a percent dice.
Dang it! You're
Yeah,
my
there you
husband.
go.
Don't make me roll to hide
I mean, it's
my
really
boobs.
a personal
Frickin'.
taste, right?
78.
Stella, stop licking yourself. 78.
Because you know, being heavy armor, I'm gonna say that Colette's probably a little bit more. No wait, you have less strength, don't you?
Yeah.
But what about
Never
her
mind.
con? It's a little
That's
higher.
true.
What am
So
I rolling
maybe-
to hide nudity?
Your percentile die to roll who has the better butt.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What'd you roll?
Am I rolling to
God,
see
this
who
time.
has a better butt?
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I'll be rolling my percent die too.
Okay, so what happened? My phone, it was cutting out again.
I'm
He's
rolling to see if I have a nicer butt.
Gotta
Okay.
get higher than a 78, most likely.
Okay, I think this is the percent die.
It's the 2 D10s. One will say like 50, 30, 10, and the other one's just single numbers. You roll that and then combine them. So like 40 plus 8 is 48.
Oh, goodness gracious. 57. It's not as toned. It's a
That's fair.
softer butt.
It's not terrible. It's above average.
Oh, there you go.
It's just a booty. Now, can I roll to hide in the water?
You don't have to hide. I mean, you don't have to roll for it. Just do whatever.
Okay, she's gonna immediately hide in the water.
I feel like Fira is still standing up and is just kind of like looking confused and like shrugs and then sinks back into the water and drinks a little more.
Beautiful.
Colette like drinks from the wine bottle.
Hey,
Stella, why do you keep
give me some.
Give me a moment. You already have your ale.
I finished it. It's empty.
You finished your ale already?
Yeah, I finished both of them.
Fine. Just don't finish this.
Chuck.
Give it back, I swear! You would always take my things!
Here, you can have it.
I like to imagine
You
Korg is
take
just
me.
downstairs, you know, sitting at his table, watching the fire. It's winding down for the night, and he just hears you arguing upstairs, like, oh.
Girl time is going wonderfully.
I mean, I never said Cork wasn't invited. He just didn't take a bath.
That's for girls.
I'm-
Excuse me?
Eviana just like imagines that Cork just doesn't bathe.
I bathe.
Must not be the bath kind of guy. But she also never explicitly invited anyone. So yeah.
Colette, like, has her, like, just the top of her head, like, her nose and eyes, and her hair and her horns are above water, but like below, she's just sulking in the water.
Oh, that's funny. I imagine Eviana looks like a freaking anime lady with her titties just barely peeking above the water. Everything's like perfectly obscured just enough so it doesn't have to be rated S.
Just
rated TV-14.
Exactly.
This one is
TV-14 for totally visible titties.
It's on the Adult Swim part of Toonami, not early.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, Psyche wants to roll for boobs.
No, don't say that!
Is that what we're doing now?
Well, we compared butts, so.
I feel like if one has one advantage on the other, like it's reversed, right?
Not necessarily.
I mean, no, I mean, especially if you're identical twins.
What did you get?
A 79. What? So what?
Come on, Mama! Come on! Oh, 91! 91!
Really nice badontas.
Thank you, sister! She goes deeper into the water, like ignoring everyone.
I mean, we've never actually. I mean, when we last saw each other, we were like children.
Yes, I know we were children, but still,
Just didn't think.
this is not befitting of a
grow up so
priestess. Thank you! You've grown as well?
I mean, don't priestess help give life and comfort and maternal?
Yeah,
Thanks.
yes, I suppose they do. So anyway,
Don't
about the
represent all
murderer,
of them?
maybe we should talk about the murderer instead of areas of ourselves.
Well, I mean, you have me beat, but maybe do we want to do that now or do we want to wait for Korg for
Oh,
that?
I suppose we should finish up and go have drinks with him and talk a bit. It was very nice of him to bring us here.
It was. It's quite a fine establishment. It really is. Yeah. No. And also the two of you. I saw you looking at each other. You're both very beautiful and have nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm trying to think of what Dan said in that one Game Grumps video where it was like itty bitty titty committee, but he said bitty.
Biggie.
The Big Titty Evangelist Committee.
It was something, and it was a play on words that was funny.
Did you
I
just call it
can't
the
remember
Big
what it
Titty Evangelist Committee? Did you just freaking have Fira roll? Have her roll.
Okay, fine. I'll roll 2 rolls for both respective
Yeah,
things.
boobs and
You're gonna
butt.
get like 99 and 99 and just.
Hi, I don't know anymore. It's getting weird. I don't know.
Okay, so
What's the first one?
booty is 60.
Okay, so slightly better than Colette's.
Yeah, I mean,
Slightly.
Above average.
barely.
Hey, but 99 on boobs.
No
way!
How do you not fall over? What?
That doesn't size necessarily.
true.
Maybe
They just
maybe they're
muscle
like
lift.
Quality.
one isn't bigger than the other. Like they are actually the same size.
That is a myth.
That is not real. Must be a fire Genasi thing.
Yeah, it must be a Genasi thing. It's not a
Yeah,
human
you know, like
thing.
how it's like French people. They don't wear bras, but they still like remain like firm and
Perfect.
don't like sag.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
because
my
the muscles aren't
God.
getting. It's a whole thing. I actually read the study because I'm a weirdo.
I did
Wait,
hear
wait,
about
what's
that
the thing?
study. The
Yeah, so
bra
the whole
study.
point is that when you're
Oh, yeah,
wearing a
bras are
bra,
off.
your skin and the muscles underneath your breasts aren't doing
They
anything.
get weak.
So
Yeah.
they're getting weaker.
Mhm.
So if it's just that you wear.
So
them 'cause it
after
kinda keeps
after
them
the
in-
pandemic, things are gonna look good.
I know, that's what I was thinking. I don't remember the last time I wore a bra.
Anyway,
Hey, me neither.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
I
let
can
me
say the
tell ya.
same.
Oh. Good times.
So, girl time. Anyone else have anything else they want to talk about?
Korg
or-
rolls for pecs.
Well, I already rolled for Pex. It was called 17 for strength.
You mean 11?
Oh.
You mean 11?
17 for con. I got.
Ah.
I don't have to roll to see if I'm cut and chiseled and all those other things.
Korg is confident in himself. He doesn't need to roll.
Damn, Colette has way more charisma than me.
It's her
Double.
lovely demeanor.
I mean,
Well,
you
must
should
have been a really big
bonus
chest plate.
rolls because of those.
Oh my
actually.
god.
Yeah.
No, Colton, you did not type that up! Friggin'!
This is why Fira wears loose clothing. It's more comfortable.
Look at look.
This
I
is
like
true.
that it was like ABS and like, oh, I have an S tier butt, guys. Life is good. Rest in peace, Colette's ass.
Listen! Pie, we're not
So-
talking about real. No!
I think Fira would probably start getting out of the water again without any modesty and dry off and then put her clothes back on.
Do you use magic to dry off? Do you just like prestidigitation?
That's what I would.
Fira
God,
does not have
Nice.
prestidigitation.
You
Oh.
what?
Though she would use produce flame to kind of help dry
Oh,
herself.
that's
off.
even.
No, I don't have anything.
God, I'm so glad the
I can-
stream isn't popular enough for like drawn fan fiction stuff because this could get
Oh.
weird.
No,
This
there's
can-
artists in this community.
No, they won't do
Artists.
it. They won't do
Make
it.
it
No,
happen.
no,
It doesn't
no, we're
have to be
good.
like
We're fine.
NSFW. I just want
No.
the three of them chilling in bathtubs and like Colette being way more embarrassed than she needs to be.
No, they're not gonna know.
Well, in freaking Fira could just be barely covered in flame, you know, or
Yeah.
steam.
And Steam.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, like, Swampy and Oddling are both willing to draw stuff that's lewdish.
So anyway, we should go check on Korg. I'm going to get out of the water as well.
Yeah.
Would you
I'm
like
getting
me to help
raisin-y.
dry you off as well? And I kind of have my flaming hand. I won't get too close and hurt you.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Okay. Oh. And
Colette
is
wants
she-
to be dry because of the plate armor.
Okay.
Eviana's just staring at you like, what?
And she just kind of like the hand is on fire. She just kind of rolls it down the body a little bit, like front and back, and it's warm. Like she's gotten used to this. Like for herself, she knows she's less sensitive
So
to
it's
flame
like
than
those
most.
those hand dryers at the mall.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
like they're a bit too hot for comfort, but you need to dry your hands before you go to the Orange Julius, so you deal with it.
Oh, it's not a Dyson Airstream.
Oh, bless.
We had
Eviana
a
dries off
Mitsubishi
like
one
a
at our
normal
old
person.
work that didn't work. So
Oh,
yeah, I was bummed.
bombing.
So she'll finish drying you off. Well, shall we?
Yes, let's
Yeah.
go check on him.
Oh yeah. Cor's probably like really bored or lonely. I don't know. Nah, he's probably fine.
What has
actually.
Korg been doing during this?
Staring at a fire.
Nah, he's been drinking gaming. He's been
Aw.
arm wrestling. He's been rousing rabbles and
Very
doing all that stuff. I like to imagine the two goblins who are working on our boiler are both working on trying to arm wrestle me at the same time. Like little when uncles do it with like their nephews, like the kids, and like all three of them are trying to arm wrestle me. We're doing that. And I can roll a strength for that if you want. But otherwise, that's all I'm up to.
So you walk out of the bathroom. It's not really a bath house. I don't know. I guess that
The bath hall.
it would be a bathhouse
Because it might be like a slightly like a hallway leading to a separate area that's close, that's outside of the main building, but not outside where everyone can look and be creepy. So. But it needs to be separate because otherwise it would take up a ton of floor space.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you walk back in to the common room, I assume, the tapped room.
Korg. How have you been?
Oh, I'm just a little alone over here, hanging out with my friends, bobbling and gobbling, dobbling.
Oh, Boblin. Sorry.
Oh,
Getting the arm wrestling in. It's not a very busy night. Most people are kind of down right now.
Yeah.
You
That's
guys
fair.
have a good bath.
oh.
Yep, nice and clean.
And was it nice and uneventful and nothing weird happened?
Oh, yeah.
Nothing weird at all.
Yeah, nothing weird. No.
No,
No contest.
Colette looks down at the floor.
Roll a meta knowledge roll.
Nothing weird.
Oh, not
No.
a joke. I just rolled an natural 20 on meta knowledge. So.
No, dang.
Korg has a sneaking suspicion based upon the message of a mysterious deity heretofore unknown that something odd might have happened there.
My TNA senses are tingling.
But
Anyway,
he doesn't say
thank
anything
you.
because that would be breaking the fourth wall, and that's not
No.
what it's about.
Korg understands that I can only hint and allude to these things, otherwise my head will explode.
Colette looks up from because when he was asking these questions, she was obviously like looking at the floor, like obviously not as comfortable as the other two. Thank you for the wine and the note. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I understand it can be hard not being in a nice, pretty tower sometimes.
Yes,
I
yes.
Welcome you to the slums.
Already been to the slums, but thank you for the welcome.
Yes, but for real this time, not like, with your box of, treats for the poor.
Oh, treats for the poor. Oh, yes. Colette's like eye twitches.
So, do we want to sit down and talk about maybe our next move?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, sounds reasonable.
And I get out. I'm sitting at the bar right now, but I turn around, find us a table, and I Commander Riker my way when I sit into the chair.
Oh no! The climb over.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do that in real life anytime I'm around a chair that's small enough. I'm 6'2", I can pull it off.
I've tried, but I'm 5'11", so I can, but I still can't.
It's not like Corinne, who absolutely shouldn't be trying to command her.
No, that woman will hurt something. Don't let her.
So
Teeth is
it's about,
6'2". Maybe he could try.
11 p.m. in the game. So it's getting late in, not talking about meta, but in the game itself, it's getting later in the game, in the evening. So just do with that what you will. Are your characters tired, or are they feeling up, feeling good?
Yeah, no, this is, night's still young, all that.
Aviana's getting tipsy. She's a pretty strong tolerance, though.
It's doing it again.
Oh, is it better? Oh no.
I know Psyche had to BRB as well.
Mm-hmm. In the arms of angel.
In the arms of...
Oh, Dick.
Ah, in the arms of Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Who's Dick?
My lover.
Why would I want to be in Dick's arms?
That's right. He's an asshole. But Eviana's just gonna keep going for it, just being like, Korg, let's take another shot.
Take another what? Like you want me to keep picking on Colette, or?
Of alcohol.
Oh yeah, I mean, go for it. I'm not buying any more booze for you.
No, but we gotta take shots together.
Oh yeah, I mean, whatever.
Eviana's just trying to like wrangle as many people into this as possible. She's like,
I take a
round on
flask
me,
out.
everybody.
Oh, and I put the flask back.
Yep.
was
I don't
like,
know how
yeah,
much a round like that would cost, but
probably not much.
It's fine.
oh
Don't
no.
know.
Can they hear? Yeah, they can hear me. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I went to go get water. I'm going back into the office.
Sure.
So, what do you plan to do with the information you've gathered thus far about the events of the evening, or I mean, of the afternoon?
Well,
Probably.
If anything, you don't have to do anything.
I mean, we could do more fact-finding on fact-finding. You know, see if any traders have brought anything weird or fancy over, or find a botanist or two, an herbologist. Learn more about this. And even Korg looks down at his notes. This evil being.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should. I agree with asking around to see how this got here. If we can find the supply trail, we might be able to find who brought it in. I think we should probably investigate a bit more before we try to bring any findings to anybody. In the
Yeah.
police front.
Yes, they don't seem to really believe us on things. So,
Well, they also don't seem to believe in doing their job, so.
yes, I agree. Well, we might as well try to trace this.
Yeah.
So does that mean first thing tomorrow we want to start asking around the docks? Would this head come over sea or over land?
It's gonna have to be oversea. We're kind of, you know, out there where we are.
That's fair. Well, I think then we should check the docks and starting tomorrow.
Yeah. Sounds reasonable. And
I am morbidly curious if our hawkish friend's political dealings ever took him to the Advarian Empire and potentially the Godsmouth area, but that is neither here nor there currently.
Well, it's definitely there. And I'm looking around like, anybody? No? Okay, and I have another drink.
But a good night's rest is definitely needed.
Hmm.
Well,
Yes,
I
the good night's rest.
suppose I'll see you all in the morning. Good night. And then Colette goes to her room.
Oh, are we doing separate rooms?
Yes, I did get everyone their own room.
Okay, wonderful.
Unless you want to share a room to save money, yeah.
Well, I'm already paying for them. I already took the gold out.
Yeah, single room.
I just put Syndra in my room and tell him to squawk loud if anybody comes, and to nuzzle me awake at the normal time in the morning.
Is there anybody else who wants to do anything tonight? In
Uh,
game tonight, not real life tonight.
Before bed, Colette is going to pray to Lucius.
Is it private, or do you want to tell us what you pray for?
I will send it to the DM.
Oh.
Do you want me to read it, or do you want to?
No!
Okay.
It's private!
Okay.
Oh, Christ.
Unless people want to roll and try to hear it, but I don't know if they would
Yeah.
that'd be metagaming.
Fira
You'd have to pass a passive perception check, and it depends upon how your rooms are laid out. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. My guess is probably no.
No.
All right, I'm texting it to you.
Angel. An angel? The angels?
Anything
The
you want to
armor
do, Evie?
No, Eviana's just gonna like pass out. She's kind of drunk and it's been a long day. She's traveling a lot. She hasn't really had a good night's rest in a while, so
Does she pass out in the common room? Does she go to her room? Or
her room, yeah.
okay, good. I won't have to like make a strength check to see if anyone has to carry her upstairs or something. So okay, Corgus. Anything you want to do?
He's still staying up and drinking and hanging out with all of his friends and patrons from the neighborhood. I can carouse as part of my rest, so I'm mostly hangover proof.
Oh, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. I can carouse, spar, and shadowbox as part of my long rest. I mean, I'll still probably go to bed at like 4 and be up at like 9 unless they try to wake me up earlier.
Eviana sleeps for a solid like 10 hours.
Okay, so we'll say that you all are more or less getting a good night's sleep, and you awaken. Do you do anything before you head down to the common room? Do you have like a morning ritual that you partake in? Anyone?
Fira would again kind of feed Syndra, and she would meditate. She would just kind of focus herself for the day ahead, and we'll double check that all of her gear is attached. Her spell book is where it belongs. It's not been messed with in any way. Yeah, that would be it.
And around what time do you figure you would have woken up?
She'd wake up at 8 a.m.
And what time do you think how long do you think it would take you to do all this?
Her morning ritual is about 30 minutes. She has it down to a system.
Okay, so you're up at 8. You're downstairs by 8:30. Eviana.
Yeah, Eviana would sleep probably until like 9, and she'd wake up, kind of like do her hair, or like brush through it with her fingers, and go and see if she could get breakfast.
Okay, and Colette.
I think
Oh. What were you gonna say?
No,
thought-
I'm asking
I
you.
thought Colette did one already for her morning stuff.
No, that was nighttime.
Oh, I haven't done. I'll do. Yeah, sorry.
It's all good. Colette is probably going to wake up at 7, which is a bit late for her. But she doesn't drink alcohol very often, and she had quite a bit yesterday at the festival, and then at the fine establishment, the Barking Satyr. So she wakes up at 7 and she polishes her armor and prays over her sword and combs her hair, and she'll probably head down around 8, I think.
Okay.
Get herself
And
some
what does Korg
coffee.
do when he wakes up? Assuming he wakes up at 9.
Yeah, and Korg is a morning bather, so he gets up, grabs a cup of coffee, takes it with him into his bath. He has to take out his braids, put it. Oh, you back?
You there? Okay.
Wait, I
He
knew
has
what.
to. He has to take out his braids while he's in the bath and then redo them, so they're not super gross. He has to put in all of his piercings, in his tusks and his ears, and he's like sitting there like slapping the sides of his face, like, all right, time to wake up and start your day. It takes him about an hour though, because he has to take his hair out, put it back together, and You know, he's got to make himself look good for the ladies. He does have a thing of like a homemade cologne. That's probably. I like to think it smells like chai tea.
Ooh.
He's very fastidious for a half orc.
Breaking
Yeah,
stereotypes.
He's like a look. I may have grown up on the streets, and all of this will be a waste in about 3 hours. But it's like a Viking, you know. You know, he's gonna get gross and bloody and covered in stuff, but he might as well smell good and look good when he starts.
Hygienic.
So since Psyche is up first, you notice that the entire inn is in something of a bustle. People are kind of talking about something. So you overhear conversation. You can't really make out any of the words. Do you try to listen in on any of it?
Oh,
or do you
heck
just-
yeah.
Okay. Roll a perception check.
Oh, what does the 15 do?
Okay, I assume you're standing. Where are you sitting?
She would probably get like a booth.
Okay, so the people behind you are talking about a mysterious note. Well, not just one note, but many notes that have been found throughout the city, all over, hidden. Some of them hidden in alleyways. Some of them posted on the side of buildings. Some of them posted in squares where everyone can see.
Can she go see what one of them says or overhear what they say?
If you want to, you can do. Tell me what you want to do.
Colette is going to turn to one of the patrons and say, What's all this I hear? There are letters around the city?
Yeah, it's all anyone's talking about ever since we got here.
Oh, what do they say?
I haven't seen the note myself, but from what I understand, it's kind of grim.
Grim?
Yes, grim indeed.
Should take a look.
Colette's gonna go outside the tavern and see if she can see any letters strewn about.
Okay, so you're fortunate that you're on the dock side, because many in the more populated areas, the city officials have already tried to, hush this whole thing. But there are many places in the dockside that have still not been touched. So you find one letter in an alleyway directly outside of the Barking Satyr. Okay. Do you pick it up?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I will send you the contents of this letter personally, since nobody else has heard them.
Okay.
Okay. And I will let you decide what you want to do with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, this is long. Y'all do stuff while I read this. Oh.
Okay, so you're up at 8. So I'll say that when you woke up and you probably ordered some food and then you noticed all this stuff was happening, probably it was about 10 minutes before you really decided to listen in intently. You were lost in your own thoughts up until that point. At that point, you decided to go outside, so it's been roughly 15 minutes, putting it at about 8:15 when you decide to read the note. Okay, so is anyone else up? Nobody else is up and about by this point.
Okay, I just finished reading it. Colette is going to be very shaky. in the booth when you guys see her. Like she has coffee and food, but she looks like she's seen a ghost.
I feel like around this time, Eviana would come like yawning to the main room.
Fear would be coming down too, but she'd be like fully ready to go for the day.
Okay, Korg's not even close to being awake.
No.
So he's not even awake yet, much less active. So it's just the you three for the time being.
Hey, is she good?
Yeah, you seem a little off.
Apparently there's a letter going around. It's quite silly, but there are letters all about town by this order. I'm certain it's fine though. How did you two sleep?
What are the letter? What's the order? What'd they say?
What does it say? You seem shooken up with it.
They are called the Holy Vanguard of Licarius. And apparently, they are attacking us for worshipping the god Lucius.
Is that another god?
Yes.
Basilio. Licarius is not a god, actually.
Yeah, Licarius. Yeah.
Roll a knowledge check. It's not esoteric stuff. So.
Who, me or them?
Everyone.
Okay, just intelligence check, basically.
Yeah, plus like, I guess I'll say history, kind of. So if you have bonuses in that, add that in.
Do I get advantage because I live here?
You don't get it. You get advantage because you're a cleric and thus understand religion.
Okay.
I guess it would be a knowledge religion check.
Oh, let me.
Idiot. Sorry.
Nope, same thing.
17.
9.
11.
Okay, so you're blanking on it, Evie, but the other two, you've heard something. Licarius is basically the home of the high gods. When I say high gods, I mean those above. Those above are the good gods of this universe, and they mostly populate this particular plane of existence.
Colette is just going to read the whole thing to them.
Mm-hmm. Do you mind if I read it?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah, have a voice.
Oh no.
Okay. Well, I guess it depends upon whether or not Korg would have heard it.
I mean, what time is it in the game?
Well, I mean, they've just come downstairs, so it's like 8:30.
Yeah, I'm asleep.
Okay. So, I
was gonna say, I'm a feeling they're gonna fill me in. They're not gonna go, let's keep this from Korg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we fill you in.
Behold, ye mortals, the work of the high gods, those higher than those above. From the loins of Vosilio sprang forth the mighty Usaled, from whom we derive the holy right of judgment and punishment. Ye wicked folk, who have placed your faith in a haughty god, ye who have sought to master the earth's tiny gods yourselves, to thee we bear the utmost contempt. For in your pride, you have abandoned the high gods, those whom have brought us up from dirt, ash, and squalor. Now you have sought vain beauty, and found it pleasing to your eye. Now see what your folly hath wrought. See the pain and suffering the high gods have poured upon the tall and strong towers of the bright city of Janisport. Now know this. We of the Holy Vanguard of Licarius have judged you guilty, but the punishment is yet to come. For every day that the wicked temple of the false god Lucius remains open, we will punish. There is no escape. We will not be denied. But also know that the high gods are merciful. If the grand temple is demolished, the pain will stop, and then healing may begin. May Usulet in his strength punish the wicked, but in his wisdom build up the righteous.
Viana's just kind of like strong distaste in her mouth.
You know,
That's not good.
Yeah. So roll a perception check.
Who?
all of us.
Yeah.
Deities are such a problematic thing sometimes.
They're a bunch of pricks. I'm not there.
Sometimes.
I'm in the. I'm currently beautifying myself.
12.
Perception? That would be 17.
So you can tell that the letters are very jagged and irregular, and it appears as though they're written in something dry and flaky.
What color is it?
Rust colored.
Is that right? Or like a weird ink?
So, Colette,
Yes.
I know you're not. You're having a bit of a time right now. There's a suspicion that I think your sister is onto. Just the ink used in this seems strange to you.
Let me see. Colette's going to examine the ink. Would it be something she's familiar with?
I'm just gonna say it's blood.
Okay, so she would know it's blood. Okay.
Everybody knows it's blood.
Okay.
I was gonna say, if you didn't say that, I wanted to be like, yeah, and I come downstairs and see you guys reading a note and I go, oh, you're reading a note written in blood.
Okay. So Colette, at first she was shaken up by the words, but now she realizes it's written in blood and she drops it immediately onto the table. How dare they do this in our city?
Well, we all saw how much the guard seemed to care.
The guard follows their own set of higher powers.
Are there temples to these other gods that fall in the Lucarius? These
It's
high
not that
gods?
they follow. It's more of Vocilio and the gods above. Those are who they hold favor with.
Are there any temples of those gods in this town?
Yes, there are.
You probably would have. I'm just gonna say you don't have to roll for this. You probably hearing that realize, oh yes, there were a bunch of temples around, and
Yeah,
they were all
yeah.
dedicated to those gods.
I will
forget,
say,
is Hypus one of those?
Not one of those above. No.
it is midnight. If you want to end on that note.
Oh, can we do? Korg walks downstairs with his coffee and sees you guys and is like, you look like you've seen a ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Korg walks down the stairs with his coffee, scratching his ear, and looks at you guys and goes, you look like you've seen a ghost.
Kinda.
Yeah, you know.
Show
Well-
Korg the letter.
They're probably a ghost now, at least.
And as I'm reading the note, my eyes widen and the end credits music starts.
Oh man, what a good
On the roundabout.
Teeth. I have to say, I'm very impressed. Both endings to sessions have been very
Cliffhangery.
very
terrifying.
cliffhangery. I don't know if you planned it that way, but
Nope. I thought this would go a different direction.
welcome to being a
Welcome
DM.
to D&D.
You're DMing now. Oh no, I don't get that until 5th level.
Welcome to being a player. Give us more XP.
Yeah, punk.
All right, guys, take care. Sleep well.
Alright.
Good freaking job.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Boy.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Guys, please, please, please check out Roll the Roll, where Bevan comes from. It sounds kind of weird. It's where Bevan's from. It's where he was born. No, it's a channel he helps run. Great, great, wonderful people over there. Thank you so much to T. Whitener for running a very interesting campaign. I kind of really hated saying it was 12 because I really wanted to know what was going to happen. And it's a very good sign of storytelling. Sleep well, y'all. We will be back on tomorrow with Freaky Friday playing Deadly Premonition. And we'll see how that goes. Maybe a little Alien Isolation at 9. Sleep well. Take care. Don't compare bust sizes with your friends. And I'll see y'all then. Bye!
Making me all emotional and shit, dude. That is your fault.